Bien, bien.
Santa, ¿eh?
Lust is a blade above your head, and under that skirt danger lurks. Can you believe it? These two seemingly sweet and harmless sisters are actually cold-blooded killers with antisocial personality disorders. Behind their innocent, baby-faced looks hides a pair of ruthless, remorseless assassins.
やられてた。うちら殺し屋なんだからちゃんと仕事しましょうね、まひろちゃん。
Meet Mahiro and Chisato, the new-gen elite from a secret Japanese assassin agency. But as their skills and age advanced, their time undercover as high school girls ran out. The company pulled the plug on the all-inclusive perks: no more free meals, housing, or training. Instead, they were tossed into the real world to blend in as regular wage slaves. By day, they clock in like your average 9-to-5 office drones, dragging themselves out of bed for that meager $3,500 paycheck. But money's not the issue. This is just a deep cover-up, orchestrated by the agency to keep them off the radar. Truth is, Mahiro and Chisato would much rather chill at home like total shut-ins lounging on the couch, living the easy life when they're off the clock. But when the washing machine breaks down, that's when their lack of basic life skills gives them away. They've long accepted that they can't function like normal people, and honestly, they're fine just winging it. Their real struggle? Faking normal human interaction with coworkers. Chisato, especially, is at her wit's end dealing with a menopausal coworker who keeps throwing passive-aggressive jabs. The old Chisato would have snapped her neck by now, but as a humble corporate mule, all she can do is grit her teeth and smile. One day, after painstakingly decorating a dessert, Chisato proudly brought it to the table only for a rude customer to ruin it right in front of her. The outburst was satisfying briefly, but the consequence? She was fired on the spot. Meanwhile, Mahiro, the poster child for social anxiety, keeps bombing interviews. Not only can she barely hold a conversation, but she also zones out, constantly imagining everyone in the store is a deranged killer just like her. But hey, that's just a fantasy. In real life, homicidal maniacs don't work in HR.
面接中だよ、真宙さん。
Back in reality, her body reacted on instinct, and just like that, she blew the interview all over again. This marks her 10th job hunt and her 10th rejection. For someone who can kill without blinking, she's starting to think holding down a normal job might be the real impossible mission. Freshly fired and feeling defeated, even Chisato can't stand the bitter taste of failure. Their usual remedy? Shaking it off with a guilt-free, gut-busting feast. However, the man they had taken out earlier turned out to be a local drug distributor for the yakuza. Messing with the underworld isn't something that goes unnoticed, especially not by Ippei Hamaka, the gang's boss, who was determined to save face. Ippei's adoptive daughter, Himiko, took one look at the crime scene and instantly knew this wasn't a gang hit. It had all the markings of a professional assassin. So, Ippei handed the case over to Himiko. If Himiko handled things well, she wouldn't just run the gang's entertainment business, she'd also gain full control of the distribution network. Fueled by ambition, Himiko went all in. The unhinged heiress tracked down the killer by sifting through the dead man's known enemies and eventually found the mastermind who had ordered the hit. It could have ended there, but Himiko, ever the curious psycho, wanted to know what kind of killer had been hired. After all, building connections in the assassin world could benefit her own career down the line. Under interrogation, she learned the client had issued one more hit scheduled for the next day. And that assignment? It had just landed in Chisato's hands. Chisato, too busy worrying about job hunting, had nearly forgotten her actual profession. She scrambled to reach the target's house in time. What she didn't know was that the client had leaked the target's identity and Himiko had already set up an ambush. Chisato never expected to get outplayed by someone even crazier than she was. And then, to top it off, the woman actually tried to add her as a friend just in case they could network later. But Chisato wasn't about to share her info that easily. But in the end, they didn't kill Chisato. Instead, they figured why not make an ally out of her. A decision Himiko would soon regret. When Chisato woke up, she was furious to discover they'd taken her gun. With no other options left, she took out her frustration on the target. Shortly after, Chisato got a call for a new job interview. Running out of time and still missing her weapon, she passed the cleanup duty to Mahiro, who happened to be free.
あ、ねえ、銃借りていい？
あ、なんで？
なんか取られちゃったんだよね。
なんで？
Meanwhile, Himiko wrapped up her part of the deal by handing over the man who ordered the hit to her godfather Ippei, but she kept the assassin encounter to herself. Mahiro, still sulking over her job search, helped Chisato clean up the mess. She then asked if she could tag along to Chisato's new workplace just to see if she could give it a try. Feeling indebted, Chisato gladly agreed. What Mahiro didn't expect was that Chisato's new job was as a server in a Maid cafe. Frilly outfit, cutesy voice, over-the-top sweetness, the full Mo package.
前
じゃあ、まひろさん。
いいよ、いいよ。
まひろさん、大丈夫ですか？
Clearly, Mahiro couldn't pull it off. She couldn't squeak out a single line like Chisato could, so she stood on the sidelines, awkwardly observing how these bubbly maids made customers smile with their syrupy charm. To Mahiro's surprise, Chisato fit right in. She was friendly, fast on her feet, and clicked instantly with both coworkers and customers. In comparison, Mahiro felt like a complete outcast. She walked home alone, retreating to her usual bubble, scrolling aimlessly on her phone until daylight, when Chisato finally came back. But tension had already been brewing, and the two ended up arguing about the job, ending the day on a sour note. Unexpectedly, Ippei Hamaka showed up with his godson Kazuki to check out the one business model that had caught the younger generation's attention, Maid cafes. They walked straight into the one where Chisato was working. The cutesy, over-the-top anime-style service shocked the old-school gangster, but to his surprise, Ippei found himself actually enjoying this new-age comfort. The ridiculously overpriced menu had him convinced this industry might just rival drug trafficking in daily profits. But then came the deal-breaker.
ちょっと難しかったです。
親父これは無理だって。
俺たちはコケにされてんだぞ。
In front of a man like Ippei, writing the word honor wrong was nothing short of blasphemy. To a traditional yakuza boss, it was the ultimate insult. Ippei felt nothing but disgust toward this kind of lowbrow, shameless entertainment. His true, vicious nature came out. If he couldn't take over the Maid cafe game, then screw it, he'd destroy the place and drag all these cutesy girls back to his turf as profit-making assets. What he didn't realize is that Chisato was watching everything from the shadows, and to her, disgusting men doing disgusting things was nothing new. But if she hated someone, she'd never hide it. The more Kazuki acted up, the closer Chisato got to losing it. Like a fuse finally lit, she snapped.
カズキ！嘘だろ。誰か坂持ってこい！
Ippei Hamaka thought he ruled the territory, but Chisato sent him straight to hell. After clearing out the other staff, Chisato lost her job again. But this time, it was personal. The company wouldn't step in. She had to pay the body disposal fee out of her own pocket, a steep bill for a hit she never planned to carry out. But the guy was just that repulsive. Luckily, she still had Mahiro waiting for her back home. Mahiro sincerely apologized to Chisato, saying she was just a socially anxious wreck who couldn't function around others. She admitted she was jealous of how effortlessly Chisato could blend in and connect with people. With the air cleared, the two patched things up and treated themselves to a carefree dessert binge. But just as Chisato began to relax, a mysterious phone call came through. It was none other than that lunatic Himiko. Turns out, the cleanup company had returned the corpses to the yakuza, hoping to spark an intergang war. But Himiko, catching the scent of familiar perfume on her dead godfather and brother and seeing the clean headshot work, instantly recognized Chisato's signature touch. For the first time, Himiko truly understood what the phrase "leaving loose ends" meant. So she sent a brutal message to Chisato. This time, "I'll make sure there's nothing left of you." Chisato, who hated threats more than anything, was ready to fight back, but she knew Himiko had dangerous people by her side. So she turned to Mahiro for help. And of course, Mahiro didn't hesitate. After carefully placing their beloved cake aside, the two hopped on their bikes and rode straight to the battleground. Meanwhile, the yakuza squad was busy polishing their weapons awaiting the showdown. Their leader, Rock Lee, scoffed at the idea of using guns on two girls to take down real enemies. He declared, "A man uses his fists, he'd soon regret those cocky words." Rock Lee, the appetizer of this whole fight, ended up being one of its biggest highlights. What followed was a one-sided massacre, Mahiro and Chisato going full beast mode. If ranked jobs were a thing, they might be bronze level at waiting tables, but when it came to ranked kills, they were undisputed champions, top of the food chain since day one. Splitting up, they each handled their opponents. Mahiro ran into something Chisato had failed to mention: a real threat. Armed with a gun, Mahiro should have had the upper hand in close combat, but her opponent was slipperier than a damn eel. Bullets whizzed by, but none landed. Was it weak ammo or lazy screenwriting? No matter what she did, that damn opponent closed the distance without a scratch. Thankfully, Atai was a total maniac, refusing to use a weapon in close combat. Mahiro, though slightly outmatched, wasn't about to waste her only kill switch. She baited him, acted wide open, and landed a brutal counterattack. That clean hit to the face caught Atai totally off guard. Elsewhere, Chisato was getting backed into a corner by Himiko, but she knew Himiko was all impulse, no brain, so she poked at the soft spots until the drunken, perfume-drenched girl practically walked herself straight into hell.